Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is going to be taken from a double up game, which is the co-op mode in Teamfight Tactics. Playing alongside me here is BledDest. This is Ivan, who was one of the participants in the Diablo 2 variant that I ran, Low Rent Region. To avoid confusion, I'm just going to use BledDest, so I use the same name that's consistent with the in-client name. But this is, as I mentioned, one of the individuals that was joining me for our Diablo 2 team variant before. All right, well, I believe that this is the first video that I've done for Set 7 that's a double up mode game. This is essentially the same as it's been in previous sets. You and a teammate play together, so instead of 8 individuals in the lobby, there are 4 teams of 2. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see we share the same life bar. Everybody has 100 health, but then that's shared between teammates. And we are like the blue team in this game. We have like that light bluish green, I don't know quite what color to call that, teal border that we share here. The big thing about this game mode is you have the limited opportunities to send units and any items that they're carrying over to your teammate and vice versa. You get a limited number of these items that transfer over. It's the little blue icon on the side there that has like a helmet on it. And there's an official name for this, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. We usually just think of them as like the champion send items. So we've got a limited number of these. You get 3 of them throughout the course of the game. There is a kind of a new wrinkle for Set 7 in that they changed it around so that the first one that you get, you can only send units that are 1, 2, or 3 costs. The reason why they did this is previously people were just saving the sends until late in the game and typically using them all for 4 and 5 cost units. But they've changed it so you have to use at least the first one on a 1 cost, 2 cost, or 3 cost unit. And generally what people will try to do now is use it in the hopes of 3-starring one of those lower cost units. So for example, if you're re-rolling something like astral units, you use it to try to 3-star like a Nami or something. A popular unit to 3-star, something along those lines. All right, the other way that the combat works, oh, by the way, everything else is pretty similar. I'm going to get a mage heart here, and I should mention that this was played before the hotfix nerf to mages, and I had like this perfect setup to play mages here. I've got the items for a static shiv, I have early Heimer, I have Vlad and Nami, and I have an Alawi for early Astral. So like this is a perfect setup to play mages here. I've said before, but I think that the thing that really makes mage teams work in the early game is some combination of having a mage augment, meditation, Ludens, also having an early rise can also help a lot as well. But the other thing is an early static shiv. Early static shiv is really good. Here's the problem. BledDest also has a really strong setup for mages. BledDest 3 starting items are 2 tears and a rod. So we were like, oh, this is not good. I have a setup that's really encouraging me to play into mages, and BledDest also has a setup that's really encouraging him to play into mages. He has more of the items for it. I have more of the champions for it. But like between the two of us, we can field a really good mage comp. But like there's not really enough mages that both of us can run mages, especially because, as mentioned, this was before the recent hotfix nerf to some of the mages. Hotfix nerf to Vladimir and Nami and also to Rise. This was before that was put on the live client. It was actually like an hour before that went live on the client. So because this was before that, a bunch of other people are playing mages too. I believe there's 2 other people playing mages. So like we can't contest 2 other players and also contest ourselves for the same units. And like this is actually a little frustrating. I get the double Trist and I get the Rise here. So I'm like, oh man, I literally want to play every single one of these units. I want to get Tristan to play Cannoneer, or not Cannoneer, to play Trainer because I want to start stacking Namzi. And I'm actually going to go ahead and drop the Nami right now because it cost me Astral. Like I'm going to have the Astral counter reset, but I still think that's worthwhile to do. Get Namzi in there right away, start stacking that up. And then on next level up, I can put in either Nami for Astral or I can put in Rise for a better, more consistent source of damage. Here's one of the other people who's also playing mages. So like right now, I just want to get to level 6 as quickly as possible so that I can get all of the units that I have on my bench into the game. So like that's the big thing. I just want to get all these units into the game as soon as possible. The other thing, so what's going to be tricky is for the 2 of us trying to coordinate because we really don't want all of us playing mages at the same time. Now, the other big feature of this game mode, if you're new to it, is the fact that you can reinforce your partner's board if you defeat your opponent. So if you defeat your opponent after there's a 5-second countdown, and then after that 5 seconds, you will appear on your partner's board. And this, of course, applies both ways. So if you are in the middle of a combat and you're facing someone on another team, and then their partner ends up winning their round, they can come over to your board and 2v1 against you as well. It's one of the reasons why we've tended to think that it's helpful to be strong in the early game, because if you can get out to an early win streak, then you can kind of like maintain the win streak and keep winning and keep winning and keep winning, because you really get like this snowball effect of even if you do not have the strongest board, if like you and your partner combined have the strongest board, then it can be very strong because you kind of snowball off of each other's boards by coming in and reinforcing one another over and over and over again. So we've had some success with that. Lost streaking strategies, though, have also been pretty popular in Double Up. And in fact, they have put a number of different things in play to try and make it harder for people to lost streak through the game. We're actually going to see one of those things that has made it harder to lost streak coming up right here, and that is the order on these carousels. You can see there's a new indicator on the right-hand side. It indicates the order at which people will pick. The ones go first, then the twos, then the threes, then the fours. Originally, you and your teammate would always pick at the same time. They then shifted it up so it's one player from the bottom two teams goes, then the other player from the bottom two teams goes, then one player from the top two teams goes, the other player from the top two teams goes. So they changed that up because people were kind of getting too much of a benefit from lost streaking. People were just like deliberate lost streaking, and then they were always taking advantage of that to get carousel priority, and it was turning into too big of an advantage. Here, because I don't see a good mage item, since I'm picking last, I go ahead and take a cloak for a good defensive front item. You're also going to notice 8 gold parachutes in here. This is because on certain stages, you get the option to send your partner a benefit, and they get the option to send you some kind of benefit as well. I have opted to go ahead and take 8 gold here. I had the choice of 2 different items or taking 8 gold. And then on stage 2, this is stage 2.5. On stage 2.6, I will get the same offer to BledDest. So you will then get to see what I have the chance of sending over to BledDest's board. We have found that it's almost always beneficial to try to take the gold. You always get the option of 8 gold or 2 items. Unless it's like a perfect item for your team comp, we usually have had better results by taking by going ahead and taking the gold, just because it really does accelerate your economy. All right, so this is one of the other players in the lobby that we haven't seen yet. This person, Sorry Stunned, who's on like the orange team, and they're basically playing my setup as well. They're also playing mages, but they have hit a lot more 2-stars, and there's a reason for that. Look at their gold. They have 0 gold in the bank. They also have a better augment. They have the Ludens over there, so they are actually going to win, and it's actually not going to be particularly close. I actually took kind of a bad loss there. And then unfortunately, because I lose this round, they go over to their partner's board, and then I believe that they're going to go reinforce. I think that their partner was hitting BledDest there, so they're going to reinforce, and that's going to cause BledDest to lose as well. So I was like, ooh, ugh. My own weakness now causes my partner to lose as well. But there's not much I can do about that. I'm not going to roll myself down to 0 gold right now. I don't think that that's a good decision to do. Here I find a Silas in the store, so I am going to go ahead and make this swap. I'm going to drop the Astral Shops. I'm going to go ahead and go up to 5 Mage. And then since I don't have Astral in, I'm going to play Rise over Nami. There is no reason to play Nami right now since I am not getting the Astral Shops. So once again, I reset the counter on the Astral Shops by dropping the Alawi, and in fact actually selling the Alawi, because Alawi was holding that cloak, and I wanted to move it over to Silas, but I still think this is a better replacement. Astral is nice, but I still think it's better to have Silas in play. So I've talked a fair bit about mage comps recently in videos. I've actually had mage comps on videos quite a bit because they've been very strong since I came back from vacation, though they are not nearly as strong after that hotfix nerf was put in place, so you probably won't be seeing me playing them as much anymore. But I have been playing them a fair amount, so I've gotten a fair bit of practice. They were also very strong at the beginning of the set as well. And I have played them enough that I have a pretty good sense for what kind of things you need to have on your board. There's some flexibility in building mage comps for sure. Some different ways that you can play the comp. Oh, by the way, here I'm going over to reinforce BledDest, but it looks like we were up against the double boards of those 2 people that are at the front, Sorry Stunned and Darko Espada. So even though we are able to both come over, it's not enough because they had both of their teammates fighting against BledDest as well. We're in reasonably good shape at the end of stage 2. I won 4 out of 5 rounds. It's a shame I wasn't able to keep full win streak. The only thing that's bad about our situation is this team that's the orange team has not lost. I guess they lost their initial rounds, but they're both on full win streak now, so they must have both lost like stage 2-1 and then both full win streak from there. So the only thing that's kind of bad right now is they're both win streaking so hard, and the fact that we now are still trying to figure out what BledDest is going to play. And my suggestion was maybe you can look to play into Deja in a Mirage comp. That was like my one suggestion. Maybe that works because it's kind of hard to know what to play if you're not playing mages and you have AP items. Deja's kind of like your only other option because that's one of the problems with this set. There's not really a lot of AP carry units. It's like all AD carry units. Really one of the puzzling things about the way this set was designed. And in fact, I actually find a Deja here. So I was trying to, I was asking BledDest, I was like, do you just want to switch into Mirage like right now? The Mirage ability is Spell Sword in this game, so you stack up AP over the course of the combat. Over here, we're going to use one of the early BledDests. BledDest is going to use Ascend to send me a Rise. So remember that first one can only be used on 1, 2, or 3 cost units, but BledDest had a Rise that he didn't really have any use for. And meanwhile, I've got this bow, and I don't really have any use for this bow, so I wanted to try to send this over to BledDest. We just wanted to find what kind of unit to put it on. So I'm planning to send this bow over to BledDest, and he had a Shojin that he didn't need, so he sends me a Rise that he doesn't need with a Shojin, which is fantastic for me because anyone who's played this set is probably well aware Shojin is one of Rise's best items. All right, anyway, so we're trying to figure this out. I did think about buying the Deja. I asked BledDest if he wanted it. He said no, but in retrospect, probably should have grabbed this because BledDest is eventually going to play into Deja anyway. All right, so we got a Silver Augment here. I'm going to take Second Wind, which is perfectly fine, and now I'm going to level to level 6, and I'm going to put Nami in. This does not put the Astral Shops back in play because remember I don't have Alawi on my board. I would very much like to find Alawi. I'd love to sub out Vlad and put in Alawi because I have 6 mages and that's not doing anything for me right now. But for the time being, I think this is the strongest board I can play, and I'm going to continue to try to be patient here and hope that I can scale up. Look, see, I'm not rolling here on level 6. I think my board is pretty solid. If I can find one more Rise, I think I'll be in really good shape. But I think I'm going to stay here and look to get to level 7, and then I'll have to decide if I want to roll on 7 or not. But I was thinking my board was strong enough here to stabilize. Okay, so one of the points I mentioned before, I've been playing a lot of mage comps. I think I have a decent sense for how to play this this setup. And so there's kind of one of the, I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but one of the big secrets to playing the mages is, yes, you do want all of the various carry items on like your AP carry, whether that's going to be like a Rise in the mid game, whether that's going to be one of the AP dragons in the late game. Yes, you do want, Spear Shojin and Deathcap and Jeweled Gauntlet and Gunblade, all that stuff. Like all that stuff's really good. But what really makes the team work is having a strong front line, and in particular having a strong Silas. Like Silas is the unit that kind of makes a mage team work in the same way that Vex was kind of the comp that made Arcanist work back in set 6. That was like one of the secrets to playing Arcanist is like you really wanted to have a strong Vex that could just kind of stand there and tank forever. And that's really the way that this comp works as well, is if you can get really good items on Silas, then that just makes such a humongous difference. So we're talking here back and forth. We are on voice communications. I've had to mute the sound for the video because otherwise you just hear us talking back and forth, and then I couldn't do commentary on the video. So we're communicating back and forth. We're trying to figure out what we're going to be playing. And then I'm like looking at this board that's win streaking because I'm not really concerned about the other two teams. It's just this team, Sorry Stunned, Darko Espada. They're the ones I'm just concerned about. Watching what they're playing here, and they're still full win streaking, and they're actually being super aggressive about rolling. The one of them that's playing mages, which I think is Sorry Stunned, that player has gone all the way down to 0 gold, and they hit Nami 3 stars. So they're going to be very strong, but they really have rolled down aggressively. So we really want someone to interrupt their win streak because their whole economy is basically just tied to win streaking because they have no gold. They have rolled super aggressively. So I'm hoping that we can outscale them over time because they have spent their gold very, very, very aggressively over the course of this game. Okay, like look at the order right now. So BledDest is going to have second pick, but then I have fourth pick. Kind of a weird setup here due to the way that the lobby is shaking out. As far as what I'm looking for a Silas item right here. I'm not so concerned about getting an AP item. I think that if I can get Silas upgraded, that's going to make me stronger here. So you see, I'm going to pass up the option to take the Rod. which would certainly be nice. Don't get me wrong. I think the Rod would actually be pretty good on Rise. But I'm going to pass that up because I want a Warmogs for Silas. If he gets that extra health, that I think is going to make the biggest difference in terms of him surviving longer. So I'm going to put that on him, and it like more than doubles his life. And I am still looking for, I'm picking up the Jinx because BledDest was thinking for a little while about looking to go into Cannoneer setup. You're also going to see me level to 7 and put in the Lilia there so that I can go ahead and get 7 mages in. Again, I would prefer not to be running 7 mages. I would actually be happy to drop down to 5 and play some other units like another Bruiser for frontline and potentially playing. I would certainly like to get Lulu in here as well. It took me I don't know why I've been having trouble coming up with her name. Would love to get Lulu in here as well over the Trist, who is just being played for trainer. But having a 2-star Trist is not terrible because it's putting a lot of stacks on Namzi. 2-star Trist, 2-star Heimerdinger is stacking up Namzi. So right here I was like, I'm finally going to interrupt the win streak on one of these 2 players that we're up against. It's like, the whole other team came over. So not quite. I mean, it's close, right? I have this person beaten, Darko Espada. By the way, Darko Espada also rolled down to 0 gold. So it's really a shame I was not able to interrupt that win streak. Also, look at this, early Soraka. Ooh, that's a 1% odd Soraka. I'm like, well, I've got to play this. Got to play the Soraka. That's got to be better than something. It's got to be better than a 1-star Vlad. Like, okay, Vlad is giving me 7 mages, but who cares? I've got to play the Soraka. So this is going to be a game where I heavily rely on Soraka. There, you're also going to see me send the bow over to BledDest, and that's because BledDest has now found a Deja and is going into Mirage. So I just send Leona, so hopefully that can get another rank of Mirage, enough to get up to Mirage 6 at least, which is generally where you want to be. And so now we're going to be looking to make Deja items and trying to find Deja in the store. All right, now the Soraka is quite interesting because Soraka is a unit that doesn't see a lot of play in this set. Generally speaking, people just play Soraka if they're playing a Jade team composition. It's a little wacky because her traits just kind of don't really line up with anyone else. By the way, this fight's kind of sad. This Yone on the other team kind of just walks onto all my carries and kills them. If Rise is on the other hand, Rise is on left-hand side, I think I win that fight, but Rise was not in a good position. So back to Soraka. I've mentioned her traits don't really fit. Her traits are Jade plus Starcaller. Starcaller is just one of those unique traits that 5-cost units often get to have. So she really just has Jade as a trait. And she doesn't really get played a lot because as far as people playing utility units at the end of the game, Lulu gets played in a billion comps, Sona often gets used, Bard gets played by absolutely everybody because he has Mystic trait and Guild trait, and he increases your shop odds. So, like, he can be played in literally any team comp. But Soraka just doesn't really get played very much, and she has that really unusual Starcaller ability, which increases the health of your little legend. So anytime that she uses her ult, she will give back health to your team. In single-player mode, in non-double up mode, she gives 2 HP back to your little legend at 1 star, and she gives 2 HP back when she's 1 star and 3 HP back when she is a 2-star unit. And because I found her so early right now, I think she's better than anything else I can play. I believe I also put the Ornn in over the Lilia, if I'm remembering here correctly, because I think that is definitely a better unit to play. Or I put the Vlad in, and yeah, there we go. Definitely better to play the Ornn, because again, I need more frontline here. If I have more frontline, I think that I can hold here. And I did hit the 2-star Rise, so that's pretty big. I'll hold the Vlad, I'll hold the Lilia, because they give me options for right now. But the big thing that's changed right now is look at the Silas. Silas got really good item drops there from that minion round. Silas picked up another cloak, so now I have Dragon's Claw. He also has the Warmogs, and he's got a vest as well, a chain vest. So he's got armor, he's got MR. He's going to be very difficult to kill. So if I can 2-star Silas, I think I'm in really good shape. Look what happens against this other person. This is not one of the 2 teams we're competing with. We just go right through that team, and they just deal no damage because they can't kill anything on my board. All right, so here we're going to get our augment, and I was like, I think it's just, I was like, do I want Earth's Grab Bag? No, I don't really need a mage spatula. I'm already getting +1 mages. I don't really need +2 mages. I'm thinking about this. I was like, do I want to re-roll this? I was like, let's just take Stand United. Prismatic Stand United is going to be good. But this does mean I probably don't want to dive deeper into the trait. I probably don't want to go like deep into 7 mages. I probably want to play 5 mages, but then just run more total traits. I also realized, you know what? I don't have Mystic trait in. I don't have Lulu in. I might as well play 2-star Vlad over 1-star Nami. I don't think Vlad is a very good unit, but I think I'll still play I think the 2-star Vlad is still better than the 1-star Nami. Also, this is a situation where Vlad was still bugged at this point in time. So, yeah, I mean, I think our position in the game is okay, but it is a concern that this team is still win streaking. They're on 97 HP, full win streaking. They've both rolled themselves down to 0 gold. Again, look at this. This person's level 7, 10 gold, I guess. But the other person, I believe, was on 0 gold. So they've just been super aggressive about re-rolling. And I'm not really sure what they're re-rolling for. Like, look at their board. They're re-rolling for, like, Set and... they're re-rolling for, like, Kane. Like, these are generally not units that people re-roll for. But in any case, I'm able to beat this person, Darko Espada. And that's really big because, remember, their economies were just being carried by the win streak. They've got no gold in the bank, so they're just relying on win streaking. And we interrupt that person's win streak. So now they won't be able to anymore. All right, so I'm going to put in the Lulu. I think it's time to bid farewell to Trist. Yes, those stacks were really nice, but I do want to get the Tristan play, and then that also means that it's time to drop the Vlad for Nami, if I remember to do this, because that'll put Mystic Trait in play. Goodbye, Vlad. You got played for 1 round. There's a quick peek over at BledDest board. BledDest has found a Bard, which is awesome. Has Mirage 4 in, is like transitioning from Bruiser and Mage units over to Cavalier and Mirage units. It's in the middle of doing that transition. All right, by the way, this person's 0 gold as well. What the heck? Why are all these people on 0 gold? So this was kind of an interesting lobby. Now, this may be because this is still relatively early in terms of like rating for double up mode. So we're playing people that are less experienced here, but it was kind of just striking to me how all these players were just rolling it down to 0 gold over and over and over again. So I think I might be able to beat the one player. I'm pretty sure I don't beat both of the other players on the other team. Yeah, don't think I can beat both of their other teams. But I think I'm getting closer to stabilizing here. I'm going to go level 8 after this and roll a little bit. And then I'll look to stabilize on level 8. And then I can decide if I want to go to level 9 or not. I have been last pick on every single carousel. Now that I've got the front line mostly itemized, I can try to look for more items for Rise. So I wouldn't have minded one more item for, I would have taken that Zoe, by the way. I wouldn't mind one more item for the for my Silas, but all the frontline items get taken. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to take a Rod for Rise. As I said, I might have been tempted by the Chain Vest because I could have had Warmogs plus Dragon's Claw plus Brambles, but it's gone. I don't have that option. So I'm going to take the Rod and we'll put that on Rise. All right, let's see if we can roll a little bit here. There's a Deja, and so I'm going to hold this for BledDest. And there's another Deja. I was like, ooh, a lot of Dejas here. Can I hit the 2-star version and send it over? Also, I was telling BledDest, I was like, hey, can you grab Rises? Because I actually have what, 7 Rises here potentially. Now I need to get Vlad out of my team. There he goes. And so that's going to put the core of my trait in play. Oh, and there we go. Let's get rid of the Lilia. Oh, that's not quite enough gold to pick that up. A little bit unfortunate. There we go. I'll just sell the Vlad. I'm not going to play Vlad at this point. So that's going to allow us to make 2-star Silas, and that's going to be a big boost to our team comp. So I kind of have the core of my team comp right now. I've got the Starclar and Ballard. It is important to play these units because, remember, I have Prismatic Stand United. I get 4 AD and 4 AP for every trait. That's a big deal. So Soraka actually is helping quite a bit in addition to her actual ability. But Starcaller, Bard, 5 Mage, 3 Mystic, 2 Bruiser, 2 Guild, 2 Trainer. And that puts me in a really nice position. And, oh, another Soraka. Okay, so I'm going to use my Send. I think it's officially called Rune of Allegiance. I'm going to use that. So that's going to make 2-star Deja, I believe, on the other board. And I was thinking, like, do I want to replace the Bard with the Soraka with Sona? Normally I would play Sona here, but I was like, you know what? I get that extra trait from running the Soraka. I think the correct play is just to keep running Sona here. I think keep running Soraka here. I think that's the right play. So BledDest is getting closer to getting a 2-star Rise on his board. So I was like, oh, man. I've got a Rise on my board, a 2-star Rise. I've got 2 Rises on the bench. If BledDest can hit one more Rise to get 2-star Rise, and I can hit one more Rise myself, then that'll get us 3-star Rise, and that's a potential win condition right there. So was starting to feel better about this because it felt like the goal was not to play into an AP Dragon, but the goal was to play into 3-star Rise, and that would be more of our win condition. Now, to be clear, 3-star Rise is not going to win that many double-up games, particularly as you move up the ladder. You really have to 3-star 4 and 5 cost units to win lobbies. But Yeah, I'm getting closer there. And this, as I said, this was not as strong of a lobby. All right, so here I'm thinking, do I want to take this? There is a tier, so I could make Archangel Staff on Rise. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That feels pretty good. I also want more gold to roll with, so I'm not going to re-roll this. I'm going to go ahead and make Tier of the Goddess, or excuse me, make Archangel Staff. And then what I really should do here, I actually make a mistake here. What I should do is make a Titans on the Silas for his last item, but I make a mistake and I make this static shiv. I don't need a static shiv. I already have a static shiv, so I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken the bow and made Titans or put a frozen heart on the Silas, because now Silas is stuck with like this chain vest that I can't use. And you saw I got one more Rise, so I'm going to ask BledDest to send over the 2-star Rise that he has on his board, and there we go, 3-star Rise. So I'm going to need to look to find another item on the Rise. Hopefully I can get another item for Rise off of one of the upcoming carousels. But yeah, got 3-star Rise on a pretty good board. Still, the secret to my setup is the Silas. Silas is really, really difficult to kill. I've also got Ornn for frontline protection. I have Namzi, and a very well stacked up Namzi because I had 2-star Trist and 2-star Heimer for ages. And then I've also got Soraka heals. So remember, Soraka's heal is when she uses her ability, she's going to give 2 health back to the little legends, and then she also heals the units on the board. She has like a whole bunch of healing energy that falls down from the sky. All right, I am up against Sorry Stunned, and that's one of the 2 people. Their teammate's going to come in and reinforce. Darko Espada is going to come in and reinforce. But I'm actually able to beat both of them. So yeah, we are starting to run out of health. We only have 32 health, but I am clearly stronger than either of their 2 boards right now. So now we kind of have a race here. It's like, can we win enough rounds not to get, do we have enough health left so that we can avoid getting knocked out of this lobby? Or is there a humongous amount of banked health going to end up being the difference? Look at that person, Darko Espada, level 7, 0 gold. Still level 7, 0 gold. And like there are definitely reroll builds that can work, but I don't know what they were rerolling for. They're kind of playing through like a 3-star Kane or something like that. So I'm just gonna box up Rise in the corner. They're not playing Thresh. Yeah. So it's like, okay, they've got 3-star Kane. I mean, does that carry hard in the late game? Not really. Maybe with a different build, but there's not enough assassins there to make Kane pop off. So I'm just going to box up Rise, and I mean, we just shred right through this team. It's not even close. And so that person, again, is level 7, 0 gold. So, yep, they're not going to get any stronger. They have no money to roll with. So, I mean, maybe they'll 3-star another unit somewhere, but oh well. So we're going to win that round, and now I'm going to come over to BledDest board, but I don't have quite enough left over to win that. So we're unfortunately going to lose this. Now, that said, this is where Soraka is coming in so clutch. Oh, it's a 2-star Soraka. This is very early to hit a 2-star Soraka. So I mentioned that Soraka was one of the other keys to this game. When you have 1-star Soraka in double up mode, she heals 1 health for each of your little legends. But if you have 2-star Soraka in double up mode, she heals 2 health to each of you. So yeah, it's actually even better than in the normal game mode. It's as if she's healing you for 4 health instead of healing you for 3. So she's actually even better than in the other game mode. Plus, her base stats are high enough that she just heals for an awful lot. So try to keep an eye on Soraka's mana bar in this fight and watch to see how much she heals my team once her ability actually goes off. So we're at 30 health. Our little legends are going to go up to 32 health. And then look at all the little healing energy coming down from the sky. Like Ornn was getting low, and all of a sudden Ornn is back at full health again. So yeah, just cannot do anything. With that much healing and with my front line being as strong as it is, the other teams really cannot get through the front line, and then Rise has time to scale up and kill everything. So now I'm going to look to go to level 9, and I'm going to try to play another unit there. It's probably something like Sona for the additional CC, but we'll see. Would also play Zoe if I can find her. And we need to get one more item on Rise. I wanted that Jeweled Gauntlet so badly, but no. Not going to be able to get the Jeweled Gauntlet. So, that's too bad. I did think about taking the Zerat Portal because that is good against assassins, but I just wasn't that worried about the Kane. So I'm going to take the Trap Claw, or Banshee's Claw it's called now. And this is, again, a perfectly fine item. This will just give a little bit of extra protection over to the Rise. So now I can corner Rise, and he can't get grabbed by hooks or anything like that. Although I don't think anyone's playing Thresh in this lobby, so not sure we really have to worry about this. One of the teams is already out of the lobby. Another team is on 3 HP. One of the players is apparently pretty strong. this person, Quantum Dingle, who's playing a quirky comp, is apparently pretty strong. So I'm just going to position the Rise over here. And it looks like I'm actually not hitting that player. I'm hitting one of the two people that's banked all that health. So this is Sorry Stun. This person is playing an Astral Reroll comp. They are rerolled for Varus. They've also rerolled for all the other Astral units, which is a little odder. Typically, when people are playing this, they reroll for Varus, for Nami, and they reroll for Ilaoi for the front line. But, I mean, we're just kind of dumpstering this board because they are, again, level 7 with no gold, and we were just kind of outscaling their board. So we beat this person, and then we also beat the reinforcing Darko Espada. By the way, there is an Al Shin here. I was like, do I play this? I was thinking, do I go 9 and like take a unit out and play this? But ultimately, I was like, you know what? I don't think so. And the main reason is because I've got that Prismatic Stand United. I want more traits in play, and that means I need to play more units. So yeah, I want to play more. Units so I can run more traits and get more Stand United value. So I don't think that this is the game to play this. All right, so that team with Quantum Dingle, I love that name, by the way. They're down on 1 HP. So if we can beat either of their two players, we can beat this person or their partner, we will knock them out of the lobby. And I wanted them out of the lobby because this person, I was well aware was that they were on 7 Corkies, that they're getting close to Corki 3-star. Really do not want them to hit Corki 3-star. Those are very good Corki items. So I was hoping we could just get them out of the lobby. Have a pretty solid comp here. It's an IDIS that's going to be pretty difficult to kill. So far, we're cutting through the front line. They got a very well-stacked Namzi. Looks like BledDest won his fight as well. So Deja comes over to help me out, and we're able to get them out of the lobby before that comp can scale up any higher. Now, you might notice our health has kind of been sitting right around 30 HP for a long time now. Kind of been at 30 HP for ages. And that is because I have been winning my fights, and the fights that BledDest has lost while putting together this Mirage board, they've just been healed up by Soraka. So yeah, Soraka has given us back an awful lot of health over the course of this match. I believe she's given us both back like around 15 HP by this point in time. So without Soraka, we'd really be sweating things out, getting close to getting knocked out here. And it would definitely have removed our margin for error. But with Soraka giving us all that extra health on our little legend, and by the way, there's another Soraka, but I don't think this is going to be a Soraka 3-star game. Don't think it's going to be a Soraka 3-star game. With Soraka giving us all that health, it really has made things a lot less tense. Now we're also at a point where there's only 2 teams left in the lobby, so we will know who we're up against in every single one of these fights. Oh, what you're seeing here is I'm going to send BledDest. I'm going to send BledDest this Soraka with a Warmogs, and BledDest is going to send me the item that he got out of the minion round, which is a Hand of Justice. So we just trade the items that we got out of our minion rounds. It's kind of a waste of the sends, but on the other hand, BledDest really benefits from having a Warmogs on one of his frontliners, and I really benefit from having Hand of Justice on Rise. This is a really big deal because now it's going to be extremely difficult to kill Rise. If he actually would start taking damage over the course of the fight, he will be able to heal it back up with the Hand of Justice. And it does give him a small amount of additional AP, so like it does help to some extent. But mostly it's just so even if he gets focused, now he's just going to have innate healing as well. So now I'm going to go level 9, and oh, Zoe pops out. So we'll just play Zoe here as well. Now Zoe puts me to set 6 mages. That doesn't do anything, but Zoe has a unique trait as well. Her unique trait is Spell Thief. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on somebody here. I think I put that, I put that on Soraka, so I have some healing on my back line as well. And now just going to roll it down. I'm looking for 2-star Ornn. We no longer have any sends. We've both used up all of our sends here. So I'm just looking to see if I can find more Zoes. I'm finding up even more Sorakas. This is the game of Soraka, by the way. But like looking for Bard 2-star, looking for more Zoes, looking for one more Ornn would be nice. But yeah, Zoe is great. Zoe's just fantastic. Spell Thief, a unique trait, gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 traits. So that is 32 AP and 32 32 AD and AP for everyone on my team. Obviously, the AP is more valuable for my setup. All right, Ornn looks like he's going to get low, but Soraka heals him. Second wind kicks in. Zoe tosses an invulnerability bubble on him, and it's like you just can't kill any of my units. There's too much healing. There's too much utility on this team. So much crowd control, so much healing. Nothing dies. Like, nothing ever dies on my team. We faced both of the enemy teams because unfortunately they did damage to BledDest, and BledDest lost that round, but nope, not enough. And also, why couldn't I have gotten this armory here? I would have killed for Death Cap on somebody. I would actually put it on Soraka if I could put it on anyone here, because that would juice up Soraka's heals even more. Death Cap is actually very good on support units, for anyone who might not be aware of that. Very, very good on support units. So like here, if I want to, I can play Sona and put Evoker in play, but I'd rather just have the Zoe. Like Zoe is probably better with my mage heavy setup here. So now I'm going to be up against Darko Espada. This person again is running kind of an assassin based setup. So we're just going to box up the Rise, keep the Silas out there as solo frontline. Otherwise, we'll try to box up here and let them come to me. And I'm going to put this Ornn down here with his Frozen Heart, because that means when Kayn jumps into the back line, he's going to get Frozen Hearted by Ornn, which is just what I'm looking for. I mean, a lot of 3-stars on this board. It is featherweights with a bunch of 3-stars, but does that work against this build? Nope, not really. Rise is totally safe. We've got absolutely insane healing on our board, and they just can't touch us. Cannot get through the healing and shielding on my team. Just not possible. They need higher tier units. 1 and 2 cost units that are rerolled are just not going to get it done at this stage of the game. So I win my round, BledDest wins his round, and it looks like we've pretty much got this one sealed up. And oh, there's a mage cap. I want that mage cap so badly. I want mage Soraka. Give me that mage cap. Let me get that mage cap. Don't you dare take that. Don't you dare take that mage cap. Oh. Womp womp. So that would have been 7 mages. That would have been 7 mage Soraka. That would have been rather nice to have. But I don't get it, so I take the Evoker emblem. This is actually the incorrect choice. This does put another trait in play, so it's not crazy. I do get 4 more AD and 4 more AP. But the correct choice would have been Shroud there. I should have taken Shroud and used it against these players. Late game Shroud is really good. It was also the wrong decision for them not to take the late game Shroud against me. By the way, there's a Aurelion Soul. And there's the option to play Aurelion Soul here. Aurelion Soul now is a very useful support dragon to play too. But again, I think it's better just to play more traits here. I've got 9 traits in play with Prismatic Stand United. That's pretty good. I also managed to get Evoker trait onto my Zoe, so she's going to cast more frequently. So that's pretty nice. I mean, look at the Zoe Tornadoes. Oh my god. So much CC. The Bard CC. The Zoe knockups. The Soraka heals. The completely unkillable Silas. Oh, you thought he was about to die? Nope, he's going to rotate through his spells again, and then he's going to get healed. And that's it. GG. We're going to knock these people out. I win my round. BledDest wins his round. And we've got this one. So this was a fun one. This was a lot of fun because it was not a cakewalk. We were up against these people that were re-rolling super aggressively. They just went all in on level 6, and then they went all in on level 7. And we really had to dig ourselves out of the hole there, because there was a point in time where we were down on like 50 health, and they were 97 health on full win streak. So we really did have to work our way out of that and overcome that disadvantage that we were in. So kudos to us for figuring it out, and kudos to BledDest for being such an awesome teammate in this game. Fed me 4 rises in this game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, hope you guys are having a good week. Take care.